2 hours for 3 people. I don't remember a debate that had 3 people 2 hours. So they said a lot.
It was too long.
Yeah, let's be honest.
2 hours too long.
And I'll say, I don't like to make the debates about the moderators, but they did not ask a substantive policy question for the first 44 minutes.
No, not at all. I mean, you could have shaved it down to 1 hour in the second hour, which was the only substantive hour. It was like Trump was the fourth guy on the stage. And Mamdani was obviously trying to position himself as the only one who can really go toe-to-toe with Trump.
Yeah. Let's just do top thing. The question was, would the debate change the race? Did it?
Certainly not.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have switched from Mamdani to Cuomo or vice versa.
Right.
And I don't think that Sliwa did a very strong job by
Oh,
any means.
can we agree he's handsome without the beret?
Yeah, I was actually, at first I was like, who is that?
Yeah,
He was the necessary palate cleanse, I think, between Cuomo and Mamdani going at each other. He sort of injected a bit of levity.
You say palate cleanse, I say drunk uncle. Saturday Night Live's drunk uncle. Okay, we're going to show clips from the debate. We're going to take your questions. If you're here on the two-way platform, you want to get in on the conversation, please, you'll raise your hand. As always, if you're watching on YouTube or X, no smack in the chat. That's our policy here. Peace, love, and understanding for all. Fair amount of peace, love, and understanding on the stage in the sense that never got super duper personal, right?
Yeah, that was actually surprising to me.
Yeah.
It was not nearly as heated as I thought it would be. A few small slights that seemed to be very practiced, but nothing that really escalated beyond practice lines.
Yeah. Andrew Cuomo, to me, Mamdani did what Cuomo needed to do. He got under the other guy's skin. He had good defenses of his weaknesses, and he pivoted to his message. Cuomo, to me, did none of that.
Interesting. I mean, I think Cuomo actually came across strongly. I think he'd clearly been practicing quite a bit. He stayed cool, which was important because Mamdani comes across as this charismatic, entertaining guy. And I think to the best of his ability, he went after Mamdani, I think, in a way that the moderators should have for some of his positions. I felt like they let him weasel out of, oh, well, you know, my views evolved over 5 years ago. It wasn't one tweet about defund the police. It was constantly defund and dismantle. It was defund the NYPD, house the poor. No, I mean, this was a constant refrain. And so I think Cuomo, to the best of his ability, was trying to push back, but the moderators kind of let that slide.
Yeah.
It was surprising to me, too. I mean, to hear someone say that they're old tweets and bygone. 2020 is not actually that long ago. And it wasn't like he was 15 when he sent them either. He was someone in the public eye running for office at the time. That's not actually a bygone at all whatsoever. You can say that I'm no longer running on that platform, but certainly that's something that you very strongly believed in, and you tweeted it in the clearest and strongest ways possible.
Yeah. Moderating's hard, and I don't reflexively criticize moderators. When they do well, I say so. I'll say the 3 things I thought they ruined the event. I'll tell you the 3 things I thought they did. First of all, they didn't ask a substantive question for 44 minutes. Just ridiculous. All politics, process, personality. Second, they didn't hold anybody accountable. People lied, and there's this whole thing about not fact-checking in real time, but they let everything go awry. And then they didn't try to foster moments. They shied away from moments. They kept saying, candidates kept asking for time, and they kept saying, no, we want to move on to our questions rather than what you want to talk about. So it's a hard thing to do, but to me, they ruined the whole event.
I would tend to agree. I think they needed to be there to really fact check and push back, and it was very selective when they decided to and when they didn't. And I think they need to be prepared for the obvious knee-jerk responses. When Mamdani says, "Oh, actually, I've changed my position," hit him with the fact that, "Oh no, you've actually tweeted this like dozens and dozens of times." Follow up.
Yeah, and I'll add a 4th thing I think they did wrong, which is they did not. They asked hard questions of everybody, and everybody should get some hard questions. But you got a guy who's 25 points ahead. You got to put him more on the hot seat, right? And they just didn't.
Totally. I also think, I wonder how much the context of all debates now are kind of seen through this national lens, where we have certain politicians whose mics need to be cut sometimes, and they're preparing for that as though that's just going to be the situation. And these 3 demonstrated that they could have had a back and forth and conversation between the 3 of them, which is much more interesting than having the moderators insert new strange questions at every turn. And there was no dialogue or debate between the 3 actual candidates we wanted to hear that was facilitated or allowed whatsoever. And every time someone's name was invoked, they had about 30 seconds to respond, and then they were forcefully cut off, which I thought was completely degrading the experience of watching the debate.
Yeah, I totally agree.
As soon as you get the drama,
Right.
Gotta leave it there.
Because we've got to get to the next topic.
If it actually turns out to be about like your bodega order and if you pay off your credit card debt, like really?
Yeah.
I mean, not impressed.
Again, it's hard to moderate, but you got to come in with a strategy. And I say this to everyone moderating debate and everybody doing a big interview. A list of questions is not a strategy. You need an actual strategy. I don't know what they think they accomplished because, as you said, we didn't learn anything new about any of them. No. Not one new thing, except I didn't know Mondami has admitted he bought and used pot, although I guess no surprise.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.